What's up guys, it's Tommy here, and in this video we will review Liverpool's transfer window. Let me know, where do you stand on Liverpool's owners, FSG? Are you FSG out? Are you FSG in? Do you think it was a failure or a success, Liverpool's transfer window? I think it's something in between. How would you rate Liverpool's transfer window out of 10? I would rate it a 4 or a 5 out of 10, but it's very difficult to judge it right now because we don't know how the season will go. If Ryan Gravenberch stays fit and he becomes this brilliant number 6 deep-lying playmaker that he shows early promise in this position, which is a fairly new position for him. Remember, this wasn't the exact position that Gravenberch played for Liverpool under Jurgen Klopp. So this is a new role that he is learning and adapting to. But if Arne Slot can mold Ryan Gravenberch into brilliant number 6 in his specific system and specific playing style and tactics, then we can't really say that the transfer window has been a massive failure. Yes, I think if Zubimendi signed for Liverpool alongside Keys and Mamadashvili, I would rate it a 7 out of 10 or an 8 out of 10. And it's not really Liverpool's fault that Zubimendi said no to Liverpool after saying yes and giving Liverpool his word that he will sign for Liverpool. But I think it's on Liverpool, and especially on the owners or the people who the owners, FSG, put in charge of transfers, that they didn't identify a number 6 alternative to Zubimendi. Because don't tell me there is not a player on the market who is better than Wataruendo. But maybe Liverpool are banking their hopes on Ryan Gravenberch coming good, and also Curtis Jones, Tyler Morton, Wataruendo, Alexis McAllister. They can all play in this number 6 position, but injuries I think will determine on how successful Liverpool's season is. Again, we are in this territory, but first I want to take a look at Liverpool's season. So Georgi Mamadashvili for 29-30 million, I think that's a fantastic piece of business. He will join Liverpool in 2025. Federico Chiesa, again, a fantastic piece of business. Is probably Liverpool's best signing in years. Just 11 million pounds plus add-ons for a player of Federico Chiesa's quality is absolutely amazing. And we sold players for so much money that we ended up in a profit of 30 million. That's what I think annoys many Liverpool fans, including myself, that I think we should have gone all out for Bruno Guimaraes. He would have been absolutely perfect for this Liverpool system, and if Liverpool put 100 million pounds down the table with like 3 weeks or 1 month left of the transfer window, I think Newcastle would have accepted it, because Newcastle were very tight for money. They would have thought, you know what, we can strengthen the team with that amount of money. And Liverpool have more than 100 million still in the bank from the Moises Caicedo money that is left over. But maybe Liverpool are banking on 1 or 2 out of Van Dijk, Salah and Trent leaving. And maybe Liverpool are saving their money to replace those players, which is a nightmare scenario if you have to replace 2 of those players because they are all world class. I really like what Liverpool have done with their loans. Bajcetic on loan to Salzburg is absolutely brilliant after he's out for 18 months. He needs to play regularly, and he wouldn't have played regularly. Nat Phillips, again, he can't be sold. He was loaned out to Derby, but at least he's not hanging around the Liverpool squad. Luis Kumas already scored and assisted multiple goals for Stoke City, so that's a great loan. Scanlon, Ramsey, Luke Chambers, Ben Doak, Owen Beck and Reece Williams all went out on loan. And also, after this image was made, Kyle Gordon joined Norwich City on loan as well. That has been confirmed. Also, Marcelo Pitaloga goes on loan to Livingston, to the Scottish 2nd Division, which is a little bit weird. At least he gets regular playing time. Reece Williams goes to Morecambe, which I think is English League 2 level. Or English League 1 level, I'm not sure, but yeah, that's the lower divisions as well. Thiago, Adrian and Matip all leave on a free transfer, and none of them played much for Liverpool, so Liverpool are not losing players, you know, who played a lot of minutes. Sepp van den Berg, Fabio Carvalho and Bobby Clark played very little. So in theory, we actually strengthened the squad. I'm not sure if we strengthened the squad with enough quality. If you look at Liverpool's options in every position, on paper it looks fine because we have at least 2 players for every position, and especially the defensive midfield, which I have been saying that we should replace Fabinho for 2 years now. But you have to understand, Analysed is different. He doesn't require a pure destroyer as the number 6. Gravenberch is the much better suited to what Analysed wants, and if we signed Gravenberch right now for 30-40 million pounds and he started his Liverpool career like he started in real life under Analysed, we would be absolutely raving about him. So we should actually give Ryan Gravenberch a chance, and we should give Analysed a chance. You know, keep the injuries lower than it was under Jurgen Klopp. Analysed's, backroom team was famous for keeping many of the Feyenoord players fit for longer periods. And Analysted's style is not as grueling, not as energy sapping as Jurgen Klopp's style. It's not as gung-ho, it's not as all-out attack, 100 miles an hour all the time, heavy metal football. It's much more controlled, much more like precise. I think that will help Liverpool hopefully get fewer injuries. That's our only chance. If Liverpool are to go far in the Champions League and in the Premier League title race, that's our only chance to keep most of the players fit. So in the defensive midfield we have Gravenberch, Tyler Morton and Wataru Endo. Is that enough? Now only injuries and time will tell. Tyler Morton, I think, is a huge talent. He had a great season at Hull City, and we will look at his numbers a little bit later. But I think that the defensive midfield position and the left back position are the 2 positions which I'm worried about, and we will talk more about that, and maybe the centre-back position if Konate and Gomez get injured at the same time. I think Liverpool were looking for an upgrade on Endo. Zubimendi would have been perfect. I would have gone for Alan Varela for 55 million. He's really close. I think he would have been an upgrade on Endo. But maybe Liverpool think a better player will come on the market in the next 6 to 12 months. And that's Liverpool's thinking right now. We will only sign our first choice targets. And that's a risky business, but I said it depends on injuries. Centre-back is another position that maybe Liverpool should have strengthened. 2 injury-prone players in Gomez and Konate. Can we really rely on those players? Time will tell. I mean, Gomez, since he came back from his long injury in 2021, to be fair, he only missed 6 games. The rest, he was rested or rotated. Virgil van Dijk is 33 years old. It doesn't look like he's slowing down, but he may maybe pick up some injuries. And Kwanzaa is still very young. But you know, if you sign a centre-back, then you have to sell one of these 4 players, and it would have been Gomez. And I don't think we would have been able to sign a better centre-back than Gomez, who is more experienced, who has better talent, better skill set, and who can also play multiple positions. Because remember, Gomez can play left back, right back and centre back. I think Analysed will use him mainly as a centre back, but he can deputise in every single position. He can even maybe play defensive midfield if it's absolutely needed. The glaring need in midfield was not addressed. We have to be honest. Liverpool failed 3 times. We tried to sign Caicedo, we tried to sign Lavia, then we signed Endo, who is a good player, but he's a squad player. He's 31, 32, so he's not a long-term solution in that position. And Analysed doesn't even fancy him, so he will not start many games unless Gravenberch, Tyler Morton are injured or out. Liverpool tried to sign Zubimendi, so we went for 3 defensive midfielders, failed to sign any of them. We went for Endo last summer. This summer we didn't go for an alternative. I think that's a risky strategy by Liverpool. Let's see during the season, will it pay off? I think you can only judge the transfer window really once you see how Gravenberch does in this new role. So far so good, but remember, we only played against Brentford and Ipswich. The big test will come against the likes of Man United on the weekend on Sunday. Really looking forward to that game. But also against Man City, Arsenal. How can Ryan Gravenberch cope with those kind of games? And Steve Hoare, who is a pundit at Redman TV, says that it's also very tough to have 5 centre-backs who are at the level to play regularly, unless one of them is getting games in other position. And it looks like Analysed won't play Gomez as a fullback. So of course we would have liked to sign a young centre-back, but I think it's better to keep these centre-back options for the here and now, and maybe think long-term. Next summer probably we will sign a world-class centre-back who will be the long-term replacement of Virgil van Dijk. But I agree that right now there wasn't like a standout option. Inacio or Simakan would have been a good choice, but they are not better than Joe Gomez, let's be honest, and they are not that world-class talent who could replace Virgil van Dijk one day. The Federico Chiesa transfer, I'm absolutely delighted with it, just like Steve. His arrival has filled a glaring need in the squad, and I really like the proactive attitude to get Mamardashvili. So on paper, as I said, 23 senior players plus the young players. It looks fine on paper. Maybe in the number 6 position there is not enough strength in depth, so after Gravenberch there is a big drop off, either if you play Endo or Tyler Morton, but they will show their talents in the League Cup. The problem is, once the Champions League restarts, will we expect Gravenberch to play on the weekend in the Premier League and then midweek in the Champions League? Because his body, I don't think, can handle that long term. I don't think we can expect Gravenberch to start every game like that. So then who will be rotated? McAllister is another holding midfielder. Curtis Jones already, his injury problems are starting again. He now missed a few games at the start of the season after picking up a knock in pre-season. So that's the problem. If you have 1 or 2 injury-prone players in this position, then suddenly you are very thin. And I'm already worried thinking about, who will rotate with Gravenberch. Because if it's Endo, it's a major drop-off in quality, and it's not exactly the style that Arne Slot wants in that position, and Endo's skill set is not really suited to that style. But Endo had a very good second half of the season, so I have hope that he can do a job there. And yes, Martin Zubimendi is a great player, but don't tell me there is nobody who is close to that level and who is better than Endo, who is not on the market. As I said, Alan Varela would have been a really, really good signing for 55 million, but maybe Liverpool felt we can get a better player than Varela in future transfer windows, so let's hold off our money. But that's a risky strategy, as I said, because you already have 3 major doubts in your squad. Salah, Van Dijk and Trent Alexander-Arnold. Will they sign new contracts? I think they also wanted to see the ambition from Liverpool in the transfer window, and maybe that's where Liverpool have failed in this transfer window. We didn't show enough ambition. And I don't want Liverpool to just spend money for the sake of it. I just wanted Liverpool to have as good a squad as possible. And we had the whole transfer window to find a better player than Endo, and we couldn't, apart from Zubimendi. I don't really believe that as a good excuse. And yes, it's true that there could be a huge opportunity for Tyler Morton at some point when Gravenberch needs a rest and maybe Endo is not suited to Arne Slot's playing style. Tyler Morton can play. And last season, Tyler Morton was one of the best press-resistant under 21 midfielders in world football. He had the ball retention under high pressure rate of 87%. Only Gavi and Zaire Emery ranked higher. So yes, LFC Liverpool should have signed the number 6, but Tyler Morton is a very well-suited player to Arne Slot's style of play. Jero Kwanzaa took his chance last year when Liverpool didn't sign a centre-back. Now we have to hope Tyler Morton does the same. And I really hope that Tyler Morton will be the next Jero Kwanzaa and the next Conor Bradley, who when injuries happened, when we needed to rotate, they grabbed their chance, and now Conor Bradley and Jero Kwanzaa are full Liverpool first team players. So hopefully 1 year from now Tyler Morton will be that. Hopefully Bajcetic, when he plays a lot, he will be another great option. And maybe we wanted to give Bajcetic a chance that next summer he could be our new number 6 going forward. This Liverpool fan rates Liverpool's transfer window as a 5 out of 10. Mamardashvili and Chiesa both represent fantastic business, but they can't completely compensate for the lack of a defensive midfielder. It looks like we are pinning our season's hopes on Ryan Gravenberch. Yes, there was situational circumstances. The new structure didn't start until June the 1st, and if Zubimendi doesn't change his mind, then this would have been a very good summer transfer window. Chiesa, Mamardashvili and Zubimendi, I would have been more than happy with that. They have no excuses left now. We have to sort out the contracts of Salah, Van Dijk and Trent Alexander-Arnold, and we need to sign some big players going forward in the January and next summer's transfer window. And now let's talk about the left back problem, because Andy Robertson, the main part of his game is his relentless energy. And now that he is 31, 32 years old, it's going to be tough for him to maintain that intensity for the whole season. And Tsimikas has been very up and down. He had a great game one week and then a disastrous game the next week. So Tsimikas' level is very fluctuating and we can't play Andy Robertson all the time. I would actually give Joe Gomez a run out sometimes at left back when Robertson needs a rest and when Tsimikas' level is not very consistent. Ait Nouri would have been my choice. He just turned 23 years old and he has 1.5 years, almost 2 years left on his contract. When he goes into the final year of his Wolves contract, that's where I think Liverpool will go for Ait Nouri. So next summer, because then we can get a lower transfer fee. Right now, Wolves are under no pressure to do business and they would have asked for a lot of money for Ait Nouri. And honestly, probably Wolves are still angry about selling us Jota for so cheap because Jota became world class. But how many left backs in the league are better than Robertson? Except Guardiola, maybe not really anybody else. And yeah, there are not many great left backs in the Premier League right now. And it's true that there are not many left backs who can do a bit of everything because Trent Alexander-Arnold is playing in a free role on the right hand side of Liverpool's defense. Sometimes he goes into midfield, sometimes he goes on the right wing to whip crosses in. Andy Robertson, or the left back who plays for Liverpool, needs to play in a back three, but he also needs to sometimes be able to go forward and put crosses in. Another Liverpool player is saying Liverpool made £60 million worth of sales and buyback and sell-on clauses, and we signed a top-class player like Chiesa for just 10 million. We signed a brilliant keeper for the future. We kept all our best players, that's a big plus as well. We loaned out our best prospects to get them experience and playing time. So why is another Liverpool fan is saying Liverpool have had a shocker of a window? I think that's a little bit of an exaggeration that Liverpool had a shocker of a window, but we also can't say that Liverpool had a very successful transfer window. I said we had an okay transfer window. We did the bare minimum, I think, which is, sign a future goalkeeper, that's great. Sign Chiesa for 10 million, that's brilliant. I still think Liverpool should have upgraded Endo in the squad. I can live with Liverpool not signing a centre-back and a left-back because we have players in those positions. What I also will say, Liverpool should have sorted out these big players' contracts last summer when Jurgen Klopp was still in the job. But maybe Jurgen Klopp was thinking about leaving last summer. And maybe Liverpool didn't think there was a long-term future with Jurgen Klopp. But still, if Jurgen Klopp and Liverpool sat down with Trent, Salah and Van Dijk, gave them a new contract last summer, I think they would have all signed. So Ben Doak joins Middlesbrough on a season-long loan, which is a fantastic loan for him because he will play regularly. And Middlesbrough are a pretty decent side in the Championship. They already had some really good results to start the season. They play nice attacking football. And Ben Doak needs to improve on a few things. Duels, keeping hold of the ball against bigger players. So he needs to be a little bit more clever with his body, maybe bulk up a little bit. Playing with his head up, so when he beats a player, he makes a good decision to pick out another player accurately. Kyle Gordon is going to Norwich over Swansea, one of the more important loans, because Kyle Gordon was very highly rated a couple of years ago. He picked up a long injury, so he needs game time after being out for so long. Surprisingly, Brighton ended up with the highest net spend out of all the clubs. And a lot of clubs ended with actually negative net spend, so they turned a profit. The most ridiculous is Manchester City, who, as you can see, ended up in a profit of 140 million. I think Man City's squad is weaker than last season. I think Liverpool's squad is stronger, even though we earned more money than we spent. The most surprising thing is that Brighton spent 155 million net, and Ipswich spent 128 million net, West Ham 102. So the top 3 clubs are not like top 6 clubs. Man United, Tottenham spent a lot of money, and Chelsea as well. And here is the total purchases for this transfer window. So not just the buys. Chelsea are top with 226 million. Again, they spent almost £250 million. Man United and Brighton are level with 206. And Liverpool spent 42 million, which is the second lowest. Man City spent the least amount of money, which is very surprising to me. But they won 4 Premier League titles in a row, so Man City don't need to be much stronger. Arsenal still spent 100 million after finishing second, so they want to get better as well. And here are the player sales. Chelsea sold players for almost as much as they bought, 182 million. Man City sold players for 177 million, that's very, very high. And Liverpool sold players for 68 million pounds, which is also a pretty high number. And here you can see the last 5 years of net spend. Liverpool are not even top 6 in this. We have a net spend of 250 million. In 5 years, that's 50 million net spend per season. I don't think that's high enough. But Man City have net spend of minus 70 million in these 5 years. That just shows what a ridiculous squad they have built up previously. And yeah, Chelsea and Man United are an absolutely ridiculous. And surprisingly, Tottenham are third with 500 million net spend. And here are the total purchases. 1.6 billion pounds for Chelsea. 800 million for Man United in the last 5 years. That's absolutely ridiculous. Liverpool have spent less than Aston Villa, West Ham, Man City, Arsenal, Tottenham, Man United and Chelsea. So it's amazing how many trophies Liverpool won in these 5 years, considering how little Liverpool spent. And here are the total sales in the past 5 years. Man City and Chelsea are leading the way, and Liverpool are also pretty high, so Liverpool are selling players very, very well. Let me know how do you rate Liverpool's transfer window in the comments below. Thanks for watching, guys. Hope you enjoyed this. Have a nice day. See you later. Good night.